your place for Premier League soccer. On Saturday, Brighton plays Everton at 9 a.m., followed by Man City versus Chelsea at 11:30 a.m. On Sunday, Aston Villa takes on West Ham at 10:30 a.m., followed by Fulham versus Man United at 1 p.m. You can catch all these matches and more at the McKinney's Irish Pub, your headquarters for English Premier League soccer at 8th and P.
Hello.
Angela, we have to break up.
But why?
Because you're a robot and I'm just a guy trying to get better internet.
It's Aloe Fiber, isn't it? I always knew you wanted faster speeds. My contract isn't good enough for you.
Face it, Angela, they let me talk to real people.
Press 4 to break my heart. Oh wait, you already did.
Visit aloefiber.com to switch today.
Rosie's Sports Bar and Grill, open for lunch and dinner at 1501 Center Park Road.
Hi, it's Joel Norman, the voice of your Lincoln Stars hockey team. Tune in to 93.7 The Ticket to hear the latest on the Stars with myself, head coach Rocky Russo, and special player guests.
Your home is your empire. Protect it with Empire Fence. Get a free instant quote with the online estimating tool at empire-fence.com. See an upfront estimate with no hidden fees. An Empire Fence can provide privacy and improve the appearance of your home. Keep kids and pets in or out of your yard. Increase security and add value to your property. Visit empire-fence.com now to view the stylish and maintenance-free possibilities for your home and get a free instant online quote. Let Empire Fence protect your empire.
Hello, I am Ayanna Blake, and welcome to Mind Your Mind. My girlfriend recently added a sign to her beauty shop that reads, "Life is beautiful." I know many may not see life the same way. Some may view it as hard, depressing, grievous, lonely, or even cruel. But does it have to be? I can't help but hear the reggae classic by Friday and Colonel Mike, "Life is what you make it." As I looked at her newly decorated wall with the words, "Life is beautiful," she looked at me and said, "You have to find the beauty in it." Despite how life has treated us, we must dig deep to find the beauty in it. After all, we are alive and breathing. Why not change your view and see the beauty in it? I encourage you today to change your perspective. Step back and change the direction of your view. There is beauty in everything if you look close enough. I am Ayanna Blake, reminding you to mind your mind. For more inspiration, connect with me on social media or visit AyannaBlake.com. Until next time, take care of your mind and keep moving forward on your pathway to wellness.
Psst. You know what's better than waking up early to go to the airport? Sleeping in. Lucky for you, the lines at the Lincoln Airport are so short and our service is so fast. You won't need to sacrifice precious beauty sleep to get here hours before your flight. So, go ahead, sleep in. You deserve it, and choose the airport that helps you relax. LNK, make flying easy.
Not many businesses can say they've made it 60 years, but Madsen's Bowling and Billiards can. With 12 bowling lanes and the biggest pool room in Nebraska, where else would you go to enjoy an afternoon or evening? There's great daily specials like $2 Tuesdays. Games of bowling, shoe rental, draft beers, and tacos, all just $2 each. Have a delicious burger at EJ's Lounge before or after your bowling or pool session, and you'll leave satisfied. Madsen's Bowling and Billiards at 47th and Dudley.
Rain, snow, or shine, John Henry's is here to keep your home's plumbing systems working properly no matter what kind of weather Nebraska throws at us. From unclogging toilets and drains to installing new water heaters and water treatment systems, John Henry's is your plumbing expert in the Lincoln and Omaha communities. Visit us at calljh.com or call
John Henry's.
435-5555. John Henry's Plumbing, Heating and Air,
and Electrical.
A new year means it's time to try new things. If you haven't tried Fear's Cheese Spread yet, the time is now. For the days you don't want to go to the gym, don't worry. Fear's Cheese Spread is there to cheer you up. And for the days you do get to the gym, why not celebrate when you get back with the best dip around? Get to your local grocery store today and load up on Fear's Cheese Spread. No event or party is complete without it on your table.
This is the Adam Carriker Show.
Position right of the quarterback, out of the shotgun, 1st and 20. Jailbreak screen in the air. It is tipped. It is intercepted by Carriker at the Missouri 21.
Live from the heart of Lincoln, America, 8-year NFL vet and All-American defensive lineman Adam Carriker.
Shotgun snap to Everett. He's got the left arm going, and now he's got a whole lot of Adam Carriker who rips him down inside the 25-yard line.
On 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Here is your host, Adam Carriker.
Welcome in, ladies and gentlemen, to the Adam Carriker Show here on 93.7 The Ticket. It's that time of the day to grab your lunch. Come join us. What you're going to hear 4 days a week, Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday. During your lunch hour, you're going to hear Husker sports, college football, and sports in general. What you're going to get unique insights, unbridled honesty, and producer Jake and I are going to have a whole lot of fun in the process. This show is brought to you by 93.7 The Ticket, theticketfm.com. Also, Carriker Chronicles. You can check us out on YouTube, carrikerchronicles.com. We got a loaded show for you today. Carriker's Trivia Challenge is back, and this time, Jake will not be the tiebreaker because you are the one in my 7-2-1 Carriker's Trivia Challenge record, Jake. What is the topic? I guess I did say keep it Huskers or college football related. That's the first time I've ever given you a guideline, though. Normally, I don't even know.
Yeah. We'll see. I'm actively building the show.
Oh, you don't even know yet.
No.
Oh, okay. All right. That'll be all that much more interesting and fun. I have a trivia question, Jake. There is 0% chance you're going to get it right. 0% chance you're going to get it right. In fact, I can only think of one person on planet Earth who might get it because I got it from his Twitter account randomly earlier today. I was looking him up. And randomly a tweet from I can't say, I don't even want to give a hint. Let's just say a while ago, randomly popped up. Something I would have never looked up, something I would have never Googled, something I would have never thought to look at. It's the most random stat ever. All right. I'm going to bring that up to you later on. But today we're going to talk about the transfer portal, NIL. I want to know, actually, from the fans, I want to know from the fans, the transfer portal, NIL. When I go do public speaking and I do events, at the end, I always ask for questions. It's my favorite part. I mean, I think I do a halfway decent job of actually, giving a speech to begin with. It's on belief, by the way, having it, not having it, the impact it can have or not have. Once you don't have it, do have it, find it, and what you can do with it going forward and how you can help other people. But at the end, my favorite part is actually asking for questions because I don't know what people are going to ask me, and that's the most fun part to me. It's one of the reasons I love doing this show in particular because it's live, it's unpredictable, it's raw, you don't know what's going to happen. Every single time I get asked this question, at least once, it's the one question I know is going to pop up. What is going on with NIL and the transfer portal, Adam? And now it's no longer what's happening or what's next. It's ruining college football, Adam. And then people want to know what's next, what's going on, what my thoughts are. So I want to ask the fine folks at home. Okay. Is NIL and the transfer portal ruining college football in your opinion? Now, they have plans for the future. There's revenue sharing. There are contracts that are actually in place now with some of the players, and they're going to be more coming in the future. I don't have a whole lot of trust or faith in the people that are running college football because they don't care about college football. With all due respect, if you wear a suit and tie to work, hey, more props to you. But these people that are wearing suit and ties care about the money, not the game. These particular people, I know that for a fact, and it drives me nuts. We need someone in charge who cares about the actual game of college football, who actually knows about the actual game of college football, and not just people there who, it's a business. Ever since I was a kid, ever since I was at Nebraska, people will be like, student athlete. Okay, when's the last time you heard that term? Because finally truth has come out. It's money-making machine. It's a business. I knew that then. I knew it now. I know it now. You're just a spoke on a wheel. I get it. The facade is over. Just like this facade of player safety, one day people will be looked back and it was just like, oh, that was a facade. Now, there are people who genuinely care about the athletes. Okay? I don't think they're the majority. They exist. I don't think they're the majority. I think the people who care about the business of college football, which I'm not even knocking. It just is what it is. I want the people in charge who care about the game more than the business. That is what I would prefer to change. So my point is, there are some things coming down the track when it comes to NIL, transfer portal, the college football playoff that will improve things. I don't have 100% faith in the people in charge, though, to do right by the sport, so to speak, simply because their interest isn't doing right by the sport. Who's in charge right now is a bunch of independent conference commissioners, especially the Big Ten and SEC, and all they care about is their conference, whatever that conference is. I'm telling you right now, the Mountain West Conference commissioner has to sign off if as an example, you want the top 4 seeds next year to not automatically include perhaps an Arizona State or a Boise State. As good as those teams were, should have been in the playoff, top 4 seed, probably not. But the Mountain West Conference commissioner has to sign off in order for that to be changed for next year. 2 years from now, it's different. But he's not going to do that. He's like, well, my team just automatically got a New Year's Day bowl game. I guess they were New Year's Eve, Fiesta Bowl versus Penn State. But technically a New Year's 6, New Year's Day bowl game. Why would I change that? So I didn't plan on any of that. But there you have it. My question is this. Is NIL and the transfer portals are ruining college football? It's going to get better. It's going to improve. I don't know that the people in charge are going to be able to get it to where it should be. So the respect of the game, the integrity of the game is where it should be. And hopefully there's not long-term damage is what I'm getting at. All right, what is that number, Jake?
402-464-5685.
All right, ladies and gentlemen. Also, Carriker's Trivia Challenge is back. Be the first person to call in, you win. But you get to come on air, go against yours truly. Jake's, he's working on 3 questions right now. You're working awfully hard on 3 questions. I've got 4 questions in my phone set up for the next 4 days for Trivia Challenge, man. What's so hard about this? Come on, Jake. Okay, I got to ask you the question. I just got to ask it. I can't wait. Okay, how many players that wore a Nebraska jersey played against UTEP in game 1 last year? Yeah.
How many players?
How many played? Okay. Blank. Okay, so this person said, unofficially, I count blank players that saw action for Nebraska in its 40-7 win over UTEP. That is just remarkable. How many of those players that wore a Nebraska jersey played against UTEP game 1 last year?
I remember he was trying to get all this, like, everybody in, so I'm assuming it's a lot. I don't know how many of you can have at home. I think you can have everybody.
I'm giving you no help. You are too good at this every single day. The Lakers question yesterday was like, dude, Jake is another level of smart on this stuff. You get no help. And that's out of respect.
All right, I'm going to go with, let's go with 140.
Oh, wow. 108.
108.
You're actually closer than I thought you would be. So randomly.
To get that meme in.
So I interviewed Sean Callahan, and randomly I was just looking through some stuff, and this random tweet from August 31st comes up. Unofficially, I count 108 players. I guess it was unofficial count. 108 players that saw action for Nebraska in its 47 win over UTEP. That is just remarkable. And I immediately thought of Jake. I'm like, he's never going to get this. I have to bring this on air. No mortal human being other than Sean, because he tweeted out, is going to know that number. So that's actually a compliment. It's actually out of respect of how hard it is to actually get you, Jake. So I was excited for that one if you couldn't tell. All right. Carriker's Trivia Challenge. What's that number again?
402-464-5685.
Be the first one to call in. You win a $100 gift certificate to Automotive Solutions, 2040 Southwest 5th Street here in good old Lincoln, Nebraska. We'll bring you on air. You already won, but we're going to have some fun. All right. Jake's got 3 questions for whichever fan comes on air. He's got 3 questions for me. We'll see who can get more correct. I'm 7-2-1. The one is for Jake, but I'm 7-2-1. The tiebreaker. Have we fixed this stupid tiebreaker? It's more broken than the college football playoff system. Have we fixed this tiebreaker problem we have?
No, I like the tiebreaker the way it is.
You are no better than those suits running college football right now. Man. All right, call that number. We'll bring you on air. We'll have a whole lot of fun. So, a couple other things on the docket today. Nebraska's got the number 2 when it comes to just specifically wide receivers that we're bringing in. Number 2 wide receiver transfer portal class in the country. When I saw this, I was not shocked. I was 0% shocked. All right. So we're going to talk about that just a little bit. Also, the Senior Bowl is going on right now. East-West Shrine is going on. But something else that I thought was interesting, because throughout these playoffs, I've kind of been like, the Eagles are going on. Cam Jurgen and the Eagles are moving on to the next round. The more digging I did, and obviously Terry Braden, our next defensive line coach, is at Kansas City, going for his, I think, 4th Super Bowl, because I think he's already won 3. Be his 4th Super Bowl, obviously 3rd in a row if the Chiefs are able to beat the Eagles. But the more I just kind of looked into it, I was like, man, there are more Huskers involved in the Super Bowl this year than I realized. Now, the Eagles have been in the past 3 Super Bowls, and the Chiefs have been in 5 of the past 6. Random stat here, just because I've been a Saquon Barkley fan, and I felt bad for the guy that he was just wasting away with the New York Giants, and now he's actually on a team that, like, is going to use him, and you see what can happen. Saquon Barkley is only 40 yards away from having the most rushing yards in a season in NFL history with the regular season and postseason combined. That was a random stat I came across. I've been a fan of his. I'm so glad he's finally being utilized. Okay. And his talents are being put forth inside of a franchise that's actually not going to waste him. With all due respect to the Giants. Good Lord. All right. Let's see here. Nick Gates, former offensive lineman, is with the Eagles. Now, I don't think he's played much this year, but he's technically on the active roster. O'Shawn Mathis is on the practice squad as well for the Eagles. Terry Braden is obviously with the Chiefs right now. And then Cam Jurgens, who played, I think, the last 27 snaps of the game on Sunday, is Pro Bowl center, doing pretty well. All right. And with the Eagles, going to be going into the Super Bowl, taking on the Chiefs. So there were actually a lot more Huskers involved in this than I even realized. I thought that was pretty cool. All right. Of the last 45 Super Bowls, Nebraska's had an active player on the active roster in 45 of those games, 37 different times. Okay, and that was the first stat that got me kind of going down the rabbit hole, looking up everyone else who's involved in this game. So I thought that was pretty cool. When you think about the Senior Bowl, it's kind of the creme de la creme of the games you want to be invited to if you're a guy who's trying to get drafted high. Now, if you're one of those guys who left early and you know you're going to be a first-round pick, you're probably not going to go to the Senior Bowl. But if you're a guy who's a senior, like I was, you come out, you get invited. This is where you can really elevate your draft stock and hurt your draft stock. Like, a lot of money is made and lost. I mean, Allen Iverson want to talk about practice? You talk about practice? Practice? The Senior Bowl practices. I'm just going to be honest. There are millions of dollars made and lost on Senior Bowl practices, especially Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. The game is A lot of scouts leave after Wednesday because you're not in patch Thursday. Friday isn't not much to it. You got the game the next day. People don't really care about the game that much. Scouts are gone after Wednesday. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. They want to see the one-on-one pass rush, offensive line, defensive line. There are so much money. There is so much money that is being made, that is being lost every time you do a one-on-one pass rush snap. One-on-ones with wide receivers, DBs. They want to see, can you beat a guy? Can you get open one-on-one? Something Nebraska struggled to do last year. All right, can you cover a guy one-on-one? If you're a DB that can cover the other team's best receiver one-on-one, that brings incredible value. If you're a receiver that can get open one-on-one, that obviously brings incredible value. So when you think about the guys that are there, Ty Robinson, Tommy Hill, Thomas Fidone. All right, here's another random stat. Nearly 50% of the players over the course of the past 20 years, nearly 50% of the players that are drafted in the NFL draft in April, almost 50% will be in the Senior Bowl this week. Now, Nash Hutmaker's at the East-West Shrine Bowl right now, and I'm not shocked at all. I saw a video of him doing a one-on-one pass rush, throwing an offensive lineman on his face. Didn't surprise me one bit. I saw another tweet, where a guy said Nash Hutmaker is just dominating, pushing O-linemen around. Didn't surprise me one bit. Somebody might get one of the top 3 steals of the NFL draft in Nash Hutmaker. And here's why I believe so. His junior year, 2 years ago, I watched him in this 3-3-5 Tony White defense, first year at the time. What do you have, 4 or 5 sacks as a nose guard in the 3-3-5? Tackles for loss. He was a problem, him and Ty both. Coming into last year, I hinted at it here and there because I didn't want to talk about it, to be brutally honest with you. I remember I had Jared Crick on one time about a year ago, and it's the only time I ever really actually talked about it for more than about 2 sentences, because Jared talked about how he was way underweight at the Texans and how hard it was to put on weight, lose weight, do it in a healthy way, play defensive line, which fed right into Nash at the time being a wrestler, losing about 50 pounds, then having to put on 30 to 40 pounds. He wasn't able to do winter conditioning. He did not do spring ball. So he lost out on winter conditioning. And the story of him wrestling and coming back after 4 years off, the number 1 heavyweight in the country, undefeated, 4 years in high school, coming out of high school, and him coming back and making it to nationals 4 years later is an unbelievable story. Like, a book should be written about that. But underneath that, does this affect next fall somehow? I was concerned because he's not doing winter conditioning and he's doing another extremely physical sport. I've had several people who played football, basketball, baseball, etc. look at me and tell me wrestling is the most difficult sport out of all of them. I can't say that from my experience, okay? The only wrestling I've ever done is against my kids in the living room, and for some reason, they always lay the smackdown on me. But when I talk to people who've wrestled, they tell me it's the most difficult sport, at least that they've done. That's not a disrespect to any other sport out there, because I played 3 of the 4 sports I just mentioned, football, basketball, baseball, just didn't wrestle. It's just what people told me, and more than a handful of people told me that. So you go from one physical sport where you're playing one of the most physical positions on the field, nose guard. Then you go to wrestling, which is an incredibly difficult sport. You don't get an off season. You don't get winter conditioning. You don't get spring ball. And immediately I was like, well, there's guys who don't get winter conditioning and spring ball because they have injuries. Look at Carter Nelson, Henry Latufsky. They're going to be out. But yet we expect them to start, contribute, make an impact next year. What's the difference? The difference is they're not going directly into another insanely competitive physical sport like wrestling. Their body at least gets a break while they're recovering. So for me, Nash was a phenomenal story in wrestling last year. Losing weight is hard. My scale sucks right now. It's being a real jerk to me. I don't say a whole lot on it. It's just being a raging jerk to me. I'm working hard and it just ain't cooperating. Now, there was a day last week where I finally lost a little bit of weight, and I chose to be a little bit kinder to it, but because I'm trying to lose about 20 pounds right now. It's hard to do. Most people don't know this. When I was done with the NFL, it was about 315. I got all the way down to 220 at one point. Okay. Then I got back up to 290. Here's what I'll tell you. Like exercising hard, eating healthy is effective, but you got to think about the mental state, because I let it come all the way back up to 290. Now I'm trying to get back down to 270. My point is you got to do it smart. You got to do it the right way, because a lot of times, like the Biggest Loser show isn't around anymore. If you ever watch that, because these people would lose like 100, 150 pounds. Then you'd see them like 2-3 years later, they weigh more. It's got to be a process, and it's got to be a lifestyle change rather than a short-term fad diet. But my point is simply this. Nash was going through a lot of challenges last year. All of them I expected, but I'm like, how's he going to play next fall? Last fall, he played fine. Like, he didn't play bad, but he did not progress upwards. You saw what happened when somebody progressed upwards from the year before, and that guy's name is Ty Robinson. Nash did not progress upwards. He played fine. I'm not bashing the guy. I love the wrestling story. I'm like, I don't know how hard wrestling is, but I've been told it's insanely hard. The weight loss is insanely challenging. I could talk about that. Putting on weight's incredibly easy for me. Losing the weight was hard. Doing it the right way, putting healthy weight on is more challenging. So my point is, I don't feel like Nash was able to play up to his full capabilities last year. Again, not knocking him. What he did was amazing. Should be a book written about it. I respect the hell out of it. But I was like, how's that going to affect him in the fall? Going into last fall. That was my whole question. When I didn't bring it up much, other than chatting with Jared Crick, because he talked about how hard how hard his time was with weight, being underweight with the Texans. He was 273 playing D tackle at one point in the league, he told me. That's crazy. But that's how challenging it can be. My point is this. Nash has now had a full season. He's back. He's in football mode. He may not have played up to his full potential last year. And again, that's not negativity. What he did was amazing. I watched him as a true freshman play against Iowa center, whose name escapes me. He won the Remington Award. And I was like, we got a true freshman out on that field against the Remington Award winner? And I watched him, and he did just fine. I'm not going to say he won more battles than he lost, but when you think about the best center in America versus a true freshman, he did just fine. Like, that dude's talented. The day he walked in the locker room, he was one of the strongest guys on that team as a true freshman. My point is, I feel like he's now getting back to where he potentially could have been at one point. Maybe I'm wrong. And he's going to go underdrafted, and he's going to go in the NFL. And I predict he's going to be the steal or one of the top 3 steals of this draft. I hope that makes sense. I'm not knocking anybody. I'm trying to explain the challenges that he went through. And now that he's kind of back in the full swing, I'm telling you right now, I think he can be a steal in this draft. And he may even go undrafted, which is mind-blowing to me, because Ty Robinson's going to be a top 3 pick. And that dude's looking really good at the Senior Bowl, I might add. I don't know. Does that kind of make sense, Jake? Like, do you think he could be a steal in this draft? Because that is absolutely how I feel. And I felt the same way about Cam Jurgens. I'm like, once he figures out the snapping, the dude's a beast. Well, a Pro Bowl center going to the Super Bowl now. Does that make sense, Jake?
Yeah, it does. I'm very fascinated to see where he lands, because I think that's the case too. I mean, you just don't have that many big body guys that can move like that. And I do think too, regardless of whether he has a lot of success, and I think we'll have success at the next level, I think we're going to look back and feel like we've taken Ty and Nash for granted. Now, hopefully that's not the case, but these top, these last two defenses, and maybe it'll just be connected to Tony White, but it shouldn't be, top 25 rushing defenses in the country. That's not just given, that's earned, and that's earned with tough guys up front.
We got anything on the text line? Any responses to the, NIL transfer portal question? And again, ladies and gentlemen, Carriker's Trivia Challenge. Call in. We're going to head to a break real soon, but call in. What's that number, Jake?
402-464-5685.
Jake has stopped writing, which means he has 3 questions. Well, 6. 3 for you, 3 for me. We'll have a whole lot of fun. But anything on the text line, Jake?
OG Les Lancaster says it's not ruined, but it needs some regulation pretty quick. Huskers P says, yes, it's ruining college football, and no, it will not get better.
I agree that it's ruining college football. Where I would slightly disagree based on the information I know, and what I'm rooting for, frankly, is that it will get better. My question is, will it get better soon enough before there's long-term damage? And will they actually get the full correct parameters in place that need to be in place? Because right now it's like, had I told you, hey, you can just enter the portal twice a year for 5 years. Oh, by the way, if you've got like COVID years, you could do it like 14 times. And that's going to be a real thing in college football. You'd have been like, what's the transfer portal? Like that would have been the first reaction. And then the fact that you can come and go as you please, unless you've signed one of these contracts that teams are starting to do, would have been just unfathomable. So any other text there?
No, not now.
All right. Ty Robinson. Well, we can head to break here, but Ty Robinson is a guy who could potentially be a first-round pick. We'll see what happens there. It wouldn't surprise me. I know some people chuckle at that. I think top 3 is a very safe bet. Maybe second round. All right. He measured out 6'4", 296. Looking very good at the Senior Bowl. Tommy Hill. He measured out as 6'2", 210. I'll be honest with you. Tommy, to me, is a first-round physical talent. There's a couple guys here that are at the Senior Bowl that the end of their careers were maybe a little bit frustrating. For them in particular, they weren't even on the field or weren't starting. Tommy Hill, Thomas Fidone, those would be those 2 guys. But as far as the talent, and I'll just be honest with you, there's a lot of first-round talents. I'll tell people, being talented isn't incredibly special. There's 8 billion people on planet Earth, but only so many people who start on Sundays. If your goal is to be an NFL player, there's only about 1,600. That's not 1%. That's like 0.01%. Having physical talent, there's so much more that goes into it than that. My point is, Tommy has the talent. Can he start to put some of these things together? And obviously, we're rooting for him there. All right, Thomas Fidone. He's an interesting one. Maybe we should save him for after the break. We'll head to the break. How about that? We'll head to break. All right, call that number. Come join us for Carriker's Trivia Challenge. We'll chat a little bit of Thomas Fidone. All right, and also Nebraska's number 2 in the country transfer portal wide receiver class. All right, don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
If you're sick of catering from the same places every month, it's time to switch things up. Mulberry Barbecue is perfect for business lunches and dinners, family gatherings, holiday parties, wedding receptions, rehearsal dinners, and so much more. Delivery and full service options are available, and they can cater for anything from 10 people to 500 people. Call them at 402-937-7114 to hear their menu options and get your catering booked today. Mulberry Barbecue, located at 11th and Cornhusker Highway.
At Farm Bureau Financial Services, we strive to provide you with the right coverages for all your insurance needs by taking the time to meet with you and review what coverages best fit your needs. So whether you're in the market for home, auto, farm, business, life, or a combination of any of these coverages, we can help with making sure you, your family, or your business have the right coverage based on your individual needs. If you would like to review your insurance needs, please contact Ben Spurt with Farm Bureau Financial Services at 402-217-9945 or through email at ben.spurt@fbfs.com.
Hi, Sean Callahan here for Cobble Chevrolet GMC, and we wanted to give a special shout out to all of our great customers, thanking you all for a record-setting year in 2024. Now let's get the new year rolling with some big savings. Right now at Cobble, we have some of the biggest discounts in the area with over $12,000 off list price or 0% APR on select new models. So stop on in the dealership or hit us up online at cobblecars.com to get true low country overhead in action. $12,000 off list or 0% APR right now at Cobble. So please stop on in or visit us at cobblecars.com. You'll be glad you did.
Wrestling fans, it's time to elevate your game, just like Stevens & Smith Construction does for your concrete needs. As your full-service concrete contractor, we deliver solid results every time. From singles to doubles, fighting for inside position to scrambling reversals, we know how to pin down quality and slam expectations. Stevens & Smith Construction, a proud sponsor of Takedown Tuesdays on 93.7 The Ticket, where Husker wrestlers bring you all the action. Don't stall. Stevens & Smith Construction is here to help you build a concrete foundation for the win. Check us out at www.stevensandsmith.com because stalling is a penalty and winning is the only option.
Sports Show!
The 56th Annual Boat Sport and Travel Show is bigger and better than ever. January 31st to February 2nd at the Sand Hills Global Event Center in Lincoln. Don't miss it.
Sports Show!
Rain, snow, or shine, John Henry's is here to keep your home's plumbing systems working properly no matter what kind of weather Nebraska throws at us. From unclogging toilets and drains to installing new water heaters and water treatment systems, John Henry's is your plumbing expert in the Lincoln and Omaha communities. Visit us at calljh.com or call
John Henry's.
435-5555. John Henry's Plumbing, Heating and Air.
And electrical.
When you need a new water heater, nothing beats the ProLine family of water heaters from A.O. Smith. ProLine models are built using commercial-grade components, meaning they're built to help you tackle your toughest days. No matter if you need a gas or electric model, A.O. Smith has a ProLine unit for you. A.O. Smith, innovation has a name. Call Greens at 402-467-4444 for a great deal on a water heater today. Again, that's 402-467-4444.
Hello.
Angela, we have to break up
But why?
because you're a robot and I'm just a guy trying to get better internet.
It's Aloe Fiber, isn't it? I always knew you wanted faster speeds. My contract isn't good enough for you.
Face it, Angela, they let me talk to real people.
Press 4 to break my heart. Oh wait, you already did.
Visit aloefiber.com to switch today.
Big box stores are tempting for buying equipment for your high schooler in sports or for yourself in your sports leisures. But buying new is awfully expensive. Why not go somewhere with new and used options? Play It Again Sports has quality, slightly to gently used equipment, and 50% of their inventory is actually new equipment. And it's more than baseball, softball, and golf. They also have equipment for disc golf, fitness, hockey, and more. Plus, they're always buying products. Bring your gear you're done with and get trade money on the spot. Play It Again Sports at 48th and Vine. The electrical workers of Local Union 265 are now hiring licensed journeyman electricians from $32.50 to $42.50 per hour with paid benefits. And if you're looking for a new career, they're hiring apprentices at $19.50 per hour with paid benefits. Call the office at 402-423-4497 to apply. Start your electrical career today.
Hi, it's Joel Norman, the voice of your Lincoln Stars hockey team. Tune in to 93.7 The Ticket to hear the latest on the Stars with myself, head coach Rocky Russo, and special player guests.
Why are some people more successful? Is it talent and determination, or did they recognize an opportunity? Discover a career that lets you help families reach their financial goals as you build lasting professional relationships. One with unlimited income potential. From Modern Woodman, a leading fraternal financial services provider.
I'm Modern Woodman Regional Director Sean Erickson. Call me at 402-483-6515 to learn about career opportunities.
Modern Woodman of America. Touching lives, securing futures.
This is the Adam Carriker Show on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Adam Carriker Show here on 93.7 The Ticket. Segment 2 of the Adam Carriker Show. And The Ticket is sponsored by our good friends at Mulberry Barbecue at 11th and Cornhusker. Open Monday through Saturday from 11 a.m. to 8 p.m. Try their burnt-in sandwich, a brisket burrito, barbecue nachos, a full slab of ribs, a half-smoked chicken, and much more. Ladies and gentlemen, they have incredible size. Get fuel for lunch today or make dinner plans at Mulberry Barbecue by Single Barrel, located at 11th and Cornhusker. Also, final shout out if you want to take on yours truly in the Carriker's Trivia Challenge, win a $100 gift certificate to Automotive Solutions. Call into this number. What is it, Jake?
402-464-5685.
All right. A couple of quick things. Nebraska's roster is now down to 132 players. As we know, they got to get down to 100. Probably going to add some more through the portal. We'll see what happens after spring ball. Okay, there's currently over 100 kids on scholarship at the moment. One other random side note, I'm not going to spend too much time on this, but I thought it was interesting. Marcus Satterfield's salary has not changed, still $1.4 million. He's no longer the OC, but getting paid the same, which is interesting because he's actually making more than Dana Holgorsen, who's making 1.2. Now, the caveat with that is Holgorsen still getting paid from Houston, so I think he's doing all right. The optics, though, of the tight ends coach getting paid more by the school he's actually at than the actual offensive coordinator is a little interesting. And I think it makes Marcus Satterfield the highest paid tight ends coach in America. So just a couple of interesting notes. Not going to spend a whole lot of time on that beyond just kind of making a note of things that stood out to me a little bit. All right, Nebraska has the number 2 wide receiver transfer portal class in America. Do you happen to have who the other top 5 teams are, by the way, Jake?
Yeah, I can pull it up here. So I think Texas A&M was number 1.
Oh, freaking A&M. Okay. Oil money. Go ahead.
Which, by the way, they did have Jonah Wilson as well. Remember
Okay,
Jonah Wilson?
that's right.
At one time thought to be a Nebraska
Trader. Okay, go ahead.
deal, but they had a scholarship for him.
Okay.
Nebraska is at number 2.
Technicalities, I guess.
Yeah, it's a pretty good argument. LSU's at number 3.
Okay.
Auburn's number 4, and Ole Miss is number 5. So Nebraska's surrounded by a bunch of SEC schools.
Them Southern Bells won't get away from us. All right. Dane Key, Isaiah Hunter, Hardly Gilmore. We've talked about them plenty of times. Okay, but real quick. Dane Key, 6'2", 189, 4-star coming out of high school, 4-star entering the transfer portal. Isaiah Hunter, who led Cal in 3 different receiving categories. All right, with a 4-star out of high school, 4-star going into the portal. It doesn't always match, just FYI. Hardly Gilmore, 4-star coming out of high school, 3-star going into the portal, but he was 17 and he was hurt most of last year. So, of course, he's not going to be rated the same. Now, I will tell you this. Some of the things that excite me about these guys is these guys can win one-on-one matchups. They've got good size at 6'2", around 190, all right, especially when you look at Key and Hunter. Gilmore's about 165, or at least that's what he's listed. He's a freshman, all right, and then Isaiah Hunter is going to have 3 years of eligibility. Dane Key, 1 year of eligibility. What excites me about these guys beyond that? Dane Key averages over 15 yards per reception. Isaiah Hunter, 14.4 yards per reception. Nebraska averaged I think it was exactly 8 yards per pass attempt last year. So just think about that. And here's the thing, between the 3 of them, Hardly Gilmore, there's rumors and innuendo that the coaches were actually the most excited about getting him out of these 3 guys, which is crazy because Key is Kentucky's best wide receiver. Hunter is Cal's best wide receiver. And they were more excited about Gilmore. Young guy, has the best top-end speed of the 3 of them. All right, 6'1", 165, a little bit smaller. So these are 3 guys to be very excited about. You pair that with Ja'Cory Barney. I am curious to see Carter Nelson when he comes back in the fall. He's healthy, recovered from the injury. What are they going to do with him? I still see Heinrich Harburg as a chess piece. We've already talked about some of the tight ends, and we'll do that more in depth, in detail throughout, one of the shows we have throughout this offseason because there's plenty of time to dive into deep detail on these things. But for me, this wide receiver transfer portal class is very exciting. Do I go into my diatribe about how we still need linemen, or have I done that enough at this point, Jake? Because somebody's going to text in, what about the guys up front? Have you ever listened to the show? I talk about it all the time. Do I need to do that, or are we good?
I think that covers it. I think that little rant covers it.
I think we covered it. All right, there are people, by the way, who expect Elijah Pritchett, because you and I had talked about him at right tackle, because Gunnar Gatula started at left for us last year. They actually think he might be the left tackle, because that's where he started at Alabama. So we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens with Rocco, what's his last name? Spindler. I told you I was going to get the name wrong during the break. I was like, Jake, what's his name? I'm going to get it wrong. I had been saying Spindler Rocco. I don't know why I was flipping his name around, but Rocco Spindler. We'll see what happens with him. He's an interior offensive lineman. All right, because there is some theory of thought that Gunnar could go inside to guard. I would say at this point in time, his athleticism, being a young guy, is more an asset than his strength at this moment in time. As he gets in the weight room, he'll get older, bigger, and stronger and whatnot. So that would suit more to offensive tackle. But he's one of our 5 best offensive linemen, in my opinion, at least right here, right now. So for me, you got to find a way to get him on the field. So if we bring in another portal tackle, maybe Gunnar goes to guard. But if you bring in a guard like Rocco Spindler, got it right, then you keep Gunnar with his athleticism out to tackle. Maybe he moves to right if Elijah Pritchett goes to left tackle. All right, Jake. Do we have a caller? Do we have a victim?
Not quite yet. 402-464-5685. Time to call in and try to win your prize.
All right, what are your thoughts real quick on the wide receiver transfer portal class and being rated so highly? Were you surprised, et cetera, Jake?
No, not surprised. I mean, that's where Nebraska had their success, right? I mean, it's, like you said, there are other parts of the portal that maybe people would like you to grab for your team, but this is a proven group coming in. Now, my interest is, you kind of had this last year with Banks and Nayor, Nayor to a lesser degree. But, can you get more out of this than what you did last year's class? I feel like these guys are positioned a little bit better to do so. But, I mean, I think that's the challenge. So I guess that's the one thing that I'm a little bit hesitant on. Of course, you got Coach Shorts coming in, Holgerson coming in, so it should be a different look. So this thing kind of, it's kind of twofold here. Paired with the coaching changes makes me a lot more excited than just the additions.
All right, I believe we have a caller. Is it Blake on the line?
Yeah, Blake. Are you there, Blake?
Yes.
All right.
Hey, how's it going, Blake? How you doing?
Real good.
All right, Jake. Do your thing, man. What do we got here?
All right, so we're going to do Adam Carriker trivia. Adam Carriker has won plenty of these. What's your record again?
7-2-1.
7-2-1.
Whose fault is the one?
It's mine.
Tiebreaker. Anyways, go ahead.
But we're going to bring back my tiebreaker just to see if we
I hate that thing.
Get another loss in there for Adam.
Thank you.
But we'll start with the either-or questions for you here, and then we'll go to Adam. So it's just three of them. You can't be too far off, and we're trying to get to know the Super Bowl teams a little bit ready. Are you ready to go?
Yep.
All right, here we go. I'm going to start a little game show music just to make it a little bit more fun here. Let's start with what I want is to know the college that these players came from on the respective NFL teams. Let's start with Chiefs leading tackler Nick Bolton. Did he go to Missouri or Texas Tech?
Texas Tech.
He actually went to Missouri. Let's go to Eagles kicker Jake Elliott. Did he go to Louisiana Tech or Memphis?
Memphis.
He did go to Memphis. 1 point on the board for you. Kareem Hunt, did he go, which is Chiefs running back, by the way. Kareem Hunt, did he go to Kent State or Toledo?
Toledo.
He did go to Toledo.
Ooh,
so there you
all
go. 2 points on the
Pressure's
board.
on. Here we go.
All right, we'll go back over to Adam Carriker here. All right, Adam, Chiefs. Excuse me. Yeah. No, I'm getting lost. There it is. Okay. Sorry, I'm bad at game show.
You're good. You're good.
Eagles leading tackler, linebacker Zach Bond. Did he go to Minnesota or Wisconsin?
Oh, man. Wisconsin?
He did go to Wisconsin.
Oh,
there's one for you.
All
there.
right.
Chiefs kicker Harrison Butker. Did he go to Texas A&M or Georgia Tech?
A&M.
He actually went to Georgia Tech. So
I said it with conviction, though. That's what matters.
Yeah. Eagles leading return man and backup running back Kenneth Gainwell. Did he go to Memphis or Tulane?
Memphis.
He did go to Memphis. Therefore
Yes.
we
Oh,
are
man, that
tied
stupid
at 2.
tiebreaker. Golly.
And we get to go to my tiebreaker. All right. And I was excited for this. All right.
You.
So many people know Saquon got over 2,000 yards this season. But how much did their leading receiver, A.J. Brown, finish with in the regular season here? And so, Adam, we're going to have you give us a number, and then we'll have the caller go above or below.
How many? Okay, repeat it again.
Total
I was still mentally pouting about this overtime rule. I got to actually listen now.
Well, the first part is just window dressing. Saquon ran for over 2,000 yards.
Okay.
But how much did the Eagles' leading receiver, A.J. Brown, finish with in the regular season?
All right, leading receiver, how much did he finish with? Let's go with, because they like to run the ball. They got Devontae Smith on the other side. So they got some weapons. Tight end's pretty good. May not be that much separation. I'm buying time, overthinking. I'm going to get wrong anyways. So let's do this. 1,100 yards popped into my head. I feel like that's a lot, though. Let's just go with 1,000 yards.
1,000 yards is where he put it. Okay, so back to our caller here. Did A.J. Brown finish above or below 1,000 yards?
Below.
He finished with 1,079 yards. There's 4 Carriker wins, but don't worry, our caller still
You
wins
still win. Hey,
with the prize. He
congratulations,
just didn't win
Blake.
the game show.
Good job, Blake. You did phenomenal.
All right.
Thanks for calling in.
Blake
All
was so wordy. I couldn't get a word in edgewise.
Right, yeah.
Dude, that was 1,100 would have been even closer.
Yeah, you were pretty close.
Not bad for pulling stuff out of my keister that I don't have any idea what the actual answer is. That's like the process of elimination. It's like when I walk into a room, there's utter chaos, crap is destroyed, and I start, all right, was it this kid? Was it that kid? Probably that one, because 99% of the time it's that one. Process of elimination, Jake.
Perfect. You like that game? I always like where did guys go to college? Obviously,
Yeah.
there's the obvious ones, but then you try to go down the lineup. And
I did like
pick it
that
out.
game. I did like that game. I got one final thought before we head to break. This marriage has a bright future. So if you follow Internet Hall of Fame on X, they put out some pretty funny stuff. This was a screenshot of a textual exchange, okay? And it's between two people, obviously. But here we go. Careful, my husband is suspecting us. The person responded, suspecting what? Do I even know you? The initial person says, I'm her husband. Now you are out of my list of suspects. The person responds, WTF, LOL. Then the initial texter says, I'm sorry, my husband was using my phone. Luckily, you haven't said anything. Oh, by the way, this was entitled two-step verification. And the person responds, what could I say? I don't even know you. Initial texter, this is her husband. I just wanted to confirm. Two-step verification, done. That marriage has a bright future, ladies and gentlemen. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Hello.
Angela, we have to break up
But why?
because you're a robot and I'm just a guy trying to get better internet.
It's Ella Fiber, isn't it? I always knew you wanted faster speeds. My contract isn't good enough for you.
Face it, Angela, they let me talk to real people.
Press 4 to break my heart. Oh wait, you already did.
Visit allofiber.com to switch today.
Rain, snow, or shine, John Henry's is here to keep your home's plumbing systems working properly no matter what kind of weather Nebraska throws at us. From unclogging toilets and drains to installing new water heaters and water treatment systems, John Henry's is your plumbing expert in the Lincoln and Omaha communities. Visit us at calljh.com or call
John Henry's.
435-5555. John Henry's Plumbing, Heating and Air.
and electrical.
Hey everyone, Lance here with Black Label. We specialize in creating custom crafted decks, pergolas, patio covers, and more. Plus, our retractable screens, gazebos, and patio enclosures create the ultimate outdoor retreat. With over 50 years of combined experience, we're not just builders, we're creators of unforgettable memories.
Call them today at 402-730-6333 or visit blacklabelbuilt.com for a free consultation.
Let's turn your backyard dreams into reality.
Black Label Built, built to serve, built to last.
Outside is where winter adventure unfolds. On frozen lakes, icy landscapes, and snow-covered slopes, feeling the cold air rush by as you race downhill. The freedom of gliding with ease and the warmth of being together. From epic sled rides to the fun of ice fishing, it's all right here beneath Nebraska skies. Start your winter adventure at yournebraskaparks.com. Sponsored by Nebraska Game and Parks, aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Associations and this station.
Big box stores are tempting for buying equipment for your high schooler in sports or for yourself in your sports leisures. But buying new is awfully expensive. Why not go somewhere with new and used options? Play It Against Sports is quality, slightly to gently used equipment, and 50% of their inventory is actually new equipment. And it's more than baseball, softball, and golf. They also have equipment for disc golf, fitness, hockey, and more. Plus, they're always buying products. Bring your gear you're done with and get trade money on the spot. Play It Against Sports at 48th and Vine.
Go Hog Wild Pit Barbecue.
It's hard to choose a favorite at Hog Wild, but I'd have to say it's their award-winning ribs. Hog Wild buys their meat from those who share their high-quality standards, then hand rubs each slab with their famous seasoning blend and slow smokes them over hickory each and every day for flavor and tenderness you're gonna keep coming back for. Order online at GoHogWild.com. Hog Wild Pit Barbecue, 3210 Cornhusker Highway in Lincoln.
But don't be late, we close at 8.
Hi, Sean Callahan here for Cobble Chevrolet GMC, and we wanted to give a special shout out to all of our great customers, thanking you all for a record-setting year in 2024. Now let's get the new year rolling with some big savings. Right now at Cobble, we have some of the biggest discounts in the area with over $12,000 off list price or 0% APR on select new models. So stop on in the dealership or hit us up online at cobblecars.com to get true low country overhead in action. $12,000 off list or 0% APR right now at Cobble. So please stop on in or visit us at cobblecars.com. You'll be glad you did.
You know what's better than waking up early to go to the airport? Sleeping in. Lucky for you, the lines at the Lincoln Airport are so short and our service is so fast. You won't need to sacrifice precious beauty sleep to get here hours before your flight. So, go ahead, sleep in. You deserve it, and choose the airport that helps you relax. LNK. Make flying easy.
What's going on, fans? This is Lexi Rodriguez, four-time All-American at Nebraska and now proud member of Omaha's newest professional team, Love Omaha Volleyball. League One Volleyball is bringing the heat this year. Don't miss your chance to see Olympians, national players, and national champions right here in Omaha from now through April. We can't wait to see you cheering us on in the stands. Visit lovboma.com to buy single match tickets to see me and Love Omaha Volleyball in action this season. Go Big Green!
I used to smoke. I thought of cigarettes as my best friend.
They were always there for me when I needed a break.
I also thought cigarettes were my best friend, and then they gave me peripheral artery disease.
I smoked and had a stroke. Actually, multiple strokes.
I smoked and have heart disease. Here's my tip. If cigarettes are your friend, you need a better friend.
Call the Nebraska Tobacco Quit Line, 1-800-QUIT-NOW, 1-800-784-8669. Paid for by Tobacco Free Nebraska. Aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
Golfing in 72 degrees and perfect conditions in Nebraska doesn't seem possible in the winter, but it is. Double Eagle Golf is your escape from the bone-chilling cold outside and a reason to keep your clubs out year-round. Book a bay with some friends for a weekend or come by for golf and happy hour on a weekday. Spring leagues begin in February. Get signed up today. That's all at Double Eagle Golf inside the Kinetic Sports Complex at West O Street. Online at doubleeagle.golf.
This is the Adam Carriker Show on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Boom! Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Adam Carriker Show here on 93.7 The Ticket. Check out all things The Ticket at theticketfm.com, YouTube, social media, anywhere you get podcasts. Also, Carriker Chronicles, carrikerchronicles.com, and on YouTube as well. We're also on podcast platforms. I just never shout them out. But if you are on there, you can check it out there as well. All right, Jake, until you change that god-awful tiebreaker rule, I'm just going to hit you with stuff I know you don't know the answer to. And then I'm going to find out you do because, god dang it, you know a lot. All right. How many, between 1981 and 2005, how many national championships did the SEC win?
Well, 81, you just boxed out Georgia.
Yep,
there.
that's the idea.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
25 years.
And then what was the end time? 20.
You're going to change this rule. I've got more. 1981 to 2005.
Because he had Florida in 96, right?
All you have to do is change the rule, and this will stop. The torture will end.
Tennessee in 97. Or 98, excuse me. Sorry, Nebraska fans. So I'm going to go with, I would say, those are the only ones I can think. I'm going to go with 2.
4.
Alabama, 92.
Yeah. You got 3 of them.
Yeah. You say 2002?
Co-national champs. 03, USC and LSU.
Yeah,
hey, you did pretty good, though.
Yeah.
I was about to say, like, we're going to count co-national champs, but I didn't even want to give you a hint. You're going to change that rule, my friend.
Well, of course we have to count co-national champs here in Nebraska, right? I mean,
well, we don't have co-national champs. We were better than Michigan and Penn State. And then we share it with Texas in 70. We were the sole national champs in 70, 71, 70. It was 70 that we supposedly shared it with GagMeU. I digress. All right. Couple of random stats, and then we're going to talk about Ohio State winning a national title and losing $37 million. How that happens. I thought this was interesting. Commanders punter Tressway has more passing yards in conference championships this year. I don't know if it's interesting. I'm just an anti-Cowboys guy. This year than Cowboys quarterback Dak Prescott and Tony Romo had in their entire careers. I'm going to read that again. Commanders punter Tressway has more passing yards in conference championship games in this year than Cowboys quarterback Dak Prescott and Tony Romo had in their entire careers.
I get it.
Yeah, that's a Commanders thing. Sorry. All right, Nebraska wrestling. This happened a few days ago. It escaped me yesterday, but I love the wrestling team. I love Coach Manning. All right, they mollywhopped, curb stomped, and mudhole stomped Michigan State. What was it? 76-9 by the combined scores. 76-9 was the combined scores. Michigan State this past weekend. They have, if you didn't know, 4 returning All-Americans, 8 returning national qualifiers. And yeah, Penn State's pretty good, but I guarantee we get another crack at them at some point as well. You probably saw this. Ali Sheck, has committed to join the Huskers volleyball team, the 6'4" opposite. I'm 6'6", by the way. She's 6'4". Think about that. All right. Is a 2-time All Big 12, a selection, so big time addition to the Nebraska volleyball team, All Big 12, multiple times type performer joining the Huskers. Jordan Larson, you probably saw this. This is not breaking news, but she has stepped down as assistant coach in Nebraska after 2 seasons on the bench. She helped the Huskers go 66-5 the past 2 years and reach the national semifinals and finals each of the past 2 seasons. It's one of those things where, I know Jordan a little bit. She's still playing. She was trying to balance coaching, being in the Olympics. Isn't she now teammates with Lexi Rodriguez in Omaha?
Yeah, I think love volleyball, yeah.
She just got done coaching her. That's crazy. That's awesome. She loves volleyball. All right. And so to me, obviously, if you're trying to still play and then coach, that's a demanding job. They're both demanding jobs. They would both have been her jobs. So it wouldn't surprise me if someday we see her back on the bench at another point in the future. But that woman's still playing volleyball at a very, very high level. All right. Let me ask you a question, Jake. You're in charge of 1890, okay?
Oh, cool.
Not Carson Schott, you. You're in charge of 1890. You're Matt Davison's boss because Carson's just a boss. I just wanted to say that. They're a major sponsor here at the Ticket. Shout out to 1890. But you're in charge of 1890, and you're given the option. You can win a national title in football, but in order to do so, you have to lose $37 million because Ohio State Athletics just operated at a $37 million deficit this last year and obviously won a national championship in football. Now they get like $20 million, I think, for winning the national title or being in the national title game. Notre Dame gets to keep it all. Ohio State has to divvy it up amongst the Big Ten, so they walk away with 1.8, not 14, like Notre Dame. I'll whine about that more another day. What would you do? Would you say yes? Would you say no? Some guy just walked by randomly drunk nodding at me, by the way. That was interesting. He's like he wanted my attention, and I refused to make eye contact with him. What would your choice be?
Well, I mean, obviously, if it's not my money, it's easy to say the national championship. But, yeah.
But you're in charge of 1890. Yeah, you're in charge of this now. What would you do?
Like if you said at the beginning of the year, that's what's going to happen.
That's your choice.
Or we'll see what you can do. Then I would probably, I mean,
no. You're going to have Michigan season. Okay. I'll give you the or. The or isn't the question mark because you're Ohio State. You're going to do good.
Yeah.
The or is you're going to have Michigan season. So you're going to beat Bama. You're going to beat Ohio State, but your fans aren't going to be very – I mean, the future, I guess, is brighter for them for sure going forward, but the season itself isn't going to be what Michigan fans want. And you're going to get mollywopped by Gag Me You in your house to start off the year like they did. All that stuff. Michigan season.
You know what? I'll just take the national championship. Yes, I will do it. So
much easier when it's not your money. Even if you're in charge of it, it's still not your actual money. You're just in charge of it. All right. I don't know. Text in, ladies and gentlemen. If Nebraska, like if you were in charge of 1890, and Nebraska could win a national title but lose $37 million, but the money was somehow directly, like you were affected by it in some way, shape, or form. Like maybe not your whole livelihood, but it affected you somehow. I don't know.
There's usually people that'll say they'll give a limb or something for Nebraska to win. Yeah.
I mean, didn't Mike Vrabel say he would give a man part?
Oh, no.
On the Bussin' with the Boys podcast, years ago, he'd give a certain man part to win another Super Bowl. A man who's already won a Super Bowl, by the way.
Just one of them?
He just said A.
Yeah.
It was singular, I believe. I don't believe it was the whole kit and caboodle.
All right, just making sure. What is he committed to here?
I think it was just A. So he's got the other one, okay?
Yeah.
I'm assuming he started with 2 to begin with. This is devolving. All right. Anybody on the text line give a response?
No, not as yet.
Well, I did just ask about it. For me, all right, my thoughts are this. It is a business. As much as it angers me that the people in charge of college football are only concerned about their particular entity, which is the conferences, because it's college football conference commissioners, namely the Big Ten, SEC, and they're still tolerating the Big 12 and the ACC while it's still around. All they care about is their conferences. That is it. I don't like that. I don't like that all they care about is money and business. Now, it's easy for me to say because this doesn't affect my pocket in any way, shape, or form. But I love college football. I have ever since I was a kid. One of the things I've spent the most amount of time in my entire life doing outside of school and things of that nature, and my actual job and my playing career, was trying to figure out the best way to figure out a national champion in college football. And I've been working on that ever since I was a kid, which is why I haven't rolled it out yet, because I'm still perfecting it, because, 40 years isn't enough. But at some point, I want to take some time and kind of go through how I would do it. And it's not all that complicated, but it does evolve over time. Because there was a time when I was like, I hate the college football playoff. Now I'm like, you can't get rid of the college football playoff. So how do you incorporate it? You know, I'll be honest with you. I would love it if Oregon and Washington were still in the Pac. Like in my world, Oregon and Washington are still in the Pac-12. So is USC, UCLA. Notre Dame's in the freaking ACC. So you got more 4 balanced conferences. Texas and Oklahoma are still in the Big 12. All right. Honestly, UCF would still be a G5 team. Like it'd be 4 16-team power conferences that are more evenly balanced. And I would have divisions, like a North-South division or whatever, 8-team divisions. So you play everyone in your division. Then you play the best team from the other side of the conference in the conference championship game. I got a whole deal. That's just kind of a prelude to it. Okay, and conference championships would matter more then because there'd be more balance between the conferences. Think about Oregon still being in the Pac-12. Oregon's their champ. Ohio State's the Big Ten champ. Okay, Texas probably wins the Big 12. Georgia wins the SEC. Like, and honestly, in this thing, the ACC or I think I had actually the Big 12 going away, and Texas and the Oklahoma going to the Pac-12 in this. Like, if you think about all that, and so the ACC, the Big Ten, the SEC, and the Pac would have been 16 at that point. When I came up with this years ago, I got to look at it again before I actually roll out the whole thing on air. Like they're more balanced is my point. And I'll look at it again. I'll get it more nailed down. Anything from the text line. Does anybody care that Ohio State lost $37 million?
Old Dad 34 says, yes, Adam, I would take the Natty. And Chubby Rhino says, if every Nebraskan donated $18.50, we could replace the $37 million.
Is that accurate math?
I don't know. That's what he says. So he wouldn't be lying, right?
No, I don't believe everything you read on the internet. I'm gonna get out. I'm gonna bust out my calculator. All right, and I'm gonna figure this out after the show if that math actually adds up.
How many Nebraskans are there? I mean, some of those are babies. Can babies donate $18.50?
Oh, now we're getting into technicalities. What about people from across the world? That guy in Germany, Australia, Antarctica. There's like 3 Nebraska fans up there, I think. All right, ladies and gentlemen, it's been real. Enjoy your rest of your Tuesday, Wednesday. Tune in. Steve Taylor drops that knowledge. I'll be back on Thursday. Go Big Red Nose. Remember to throw the bug.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com.
On the internet.
KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket.